What's up, friends? It's Firecore. Welcome to the third part of my series on how to improve at Pokemon Showdown. Now, this one is going to focus more on resources since I'm not an advanced player, so I can't really do much inside the section of being an advanced player. So I'm going to give you guys some resources. Let's get into the first resource. Now, this might seem kind of trivial to people who have played the game for a long time, but even I need a refresher sometimes. It's pretty much mandatory if you want to get into competitive Pokemon to at least know 90% of the Pokemon, what they do, what their types mean, super effectivenesses. Now, I know I talked about that inside the first part, but it is really important. And there are a lot of Pokemon that added inside of Gen 8, which I'm still trying to remember what they all do. So I would really focus on memorizing all these and trying your best to understand this type of battling. Since the Pokemon battling, well, it involves the Pokemon. The trainers, they make the moves, but these are the main dudes. They do the things. So I would highly advise just going on these websites for a refresher. But for the more advanced players that already have all their Pokemon memorized and they even have all the types that these Pokemon can learn memorized, like this, I would highly advise you guys to go to a certain YouTuber known as PokeAim MD. Now, this YouTuber pretty much got me started on competitive Pokemon. I didn't really spend too much time on Showdown, and I kind of just messed around with really jank teams. But then I started watching his videos, and it helped me so much. I would highly advise just checking out his content, watching some of his videos. Sometimes he posts 2 videos every single day, and then he makes videos on how he plays with his elbows. But I've been watching his content very consistently, and I would highly advise to get to know this YouTuber since he taught me a whole lot. Now, the second YouTuber is a friend of PokeAim, and he is known as Blunder, another Pokemon Showdown YouTuber. He focuses on pretty much the same kind of content that PokeAim does, and he actually has an ongoing series where they go inside of the borderline tier and play with those Pokemon. But I learned an insane amount from these two, and they are both mandatory well, not mandatory, but I would highly advise if you want to get better at the game. Now, if you just want to enjoy Pokemon Showdown and have some fun with it, the first YouTuber that I ever watched on Pokemon Showdown, even before I started playing Showdown, was a guy by the name of the Garbodors. Now, it's actually kind of funny. Showdown wasn't too big until the Garbodor started playing Pokemon Showdown. His channel exploded from a channel with only like a couple thousand subscribers. He got all the way to like, well, as you see right there, 100K, which is a whole lot for just making Pokemon Showdown content. He makes other things, but he pretty much focuses on Pokemon Showdown, and that's his most liked series. So he's a very interesting person and taught me the basics of Pokemon Showdown. Since I watched 90% of his content, you absorb quite a bit of it. So let's head back to Pokemon Showdown, and I have a couple more things to say, but again, I don't really have too much to talk about inside this one, since I'm not too good with the advanced section. Okay, we're back on Pokemon Showdown now, and we're inside the team section. Now, I don't have much to say inside of the actual website itself, only a few things. So the first thing is, the best thing to improve is just to play. Go inside of Pokemon Showdown, make a Pokemon that you really like, try to make it optimal, and then build a team around it. Now, this is not a team that I've been using, since it's kind of just a bunch of Pokemon that I like to use. But what I would do is just, let's say you really want to use Doublade or something. You'd take a Doublade, you'd slap some moves on it, or if you want, you could go on the Smog official website, which I will get into later. Build a team around him. Since he's a steel type, maybe, I don't know, he's weak to ground, weak to fire, slap a water type on it or something, like Seismitoad. Just think about how to cover further weaknesses. And if you can do that, you can build some pretty awesome teams. Now, unfortunately, I had a corruption inside of my data, which led to the destruction of quite a bit of my teams. I do have quite a bit of epic teams on my old account, but since that's gone now, I've been trying to rebuild it. But just spend time getting good, and if you don't, go on YouTube and get good from that. That's pretty much all I can say. Now, that's all that I can say, but there is another part of Pokemon Showdown, which, since I'm quite antisocial and haven't really spent much time inside this section, I don't know much about. But you guys should probably explore it, since you can have some pretty interesting conversations. So there is a chat section inside of Pokemon Showdown, and as you can see, there are quite a bit of users that are just online talking, since there are only like 2,000 active battles, but there are a fair amount of people just wandering around inside of the Showdown website. You could go inside like the OU tier and just talk to people. They're always talking, having these little conversations with themselves, and you can learn a lot from these people. They even have little polls. So right here, do you still use Hydreigon? Yeah, I've used different sets since that. So they have a bunch of people who you can learn quite a bit from. I don't learn from these people, but I think most of them are pretty cool. I see a lot of YouTubers spending a lot of time in that. And the final thing is another website resource, which I'm pretty sure the makers of Pokemon Showdown have this website too, which is the Smog website. Now, Smogon, like I said, I'm pretty sure made Pokemon Showdown. If not, they're very close with Pokemon Showdown. They have a lot of information. They have an actual strategy Pokédex. So let's just give an example. Let's say we want a Sword and Shield Pokemon, and we want to learn how to use what's an OU Pokemon that's used quite a bit. Not finding OU. Oh yeah, Bisharp. So we click Bisharp right here, and they actually give us a pre-made set. Now, sometimes the Pokemon doesn't have a set, since it's, let's say, from the OU tier, the PU tier, or the NU. Usually the higher the tier, the more people are looking out for that Pokemon. So I'm pretty sure there are multiple sets for some Pokemon, like the online menaces. Like back inside of Gen 7, if you went on Landorus's page, which maybe I'll go on. Yeah, I'll go on it later. You can see a bunch of sets. But this is the set that usually people use for the OU tier, which is Swords Dance Knockoff, Iron Head, and Sucker Punch, since this is a very strong Pokemon. But you can learn a whole lot from this. You can learn about the moves, anything you want, this website pretty much has. So let's get back to Pokemon Showdown and end this series. Alright, and we're back. Now, to be honest, this series wasn't perfect. The first part was a little too beginner for most people, I can assume. The second part was pretty much the only part I should have made, but I set on to do a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced section. And I kind of expected the advanced section was going to be a little sketchy and not too informative for anyone, since I don't really have too much information on this topic. But since I made it and said I was going to make it, I decided to just put it out there and get the information out. But I don't think I'll be making any more tutorials on Pokemon Showdown, but I definitely will continue playing it. And if you guys want another resource, you could head over to the Volt Fire Core YouTube channel. You know, I have some pretty good Pokemon Showdown content. I would highly advise to check it out. But anyways, I appreciate the support on the videos. This is not a very big series, but it was pretty fun to make. So keep on looking for my content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.